Hey guys, Jesse Wright here with YouCouldBe.com, and in today's video I'm going to talk about something that is crippling a lot of new investors or people that want to be real estate investors. So I first read Rich Dad Poor Dad when I was 23 years old, and within probably 1 or 2 months of reading that book, I bought my first property. I bought it for $9,500, and I immediately started rehabbing it. And I often think to myself, what would have happened if I read this book in high school? You know, how much more would I have built? And I wouldn't say it's a regret that I have, because I think everything happens for a reason, but at the same time, I do think about that. And I think one of the key things there, though, is that I actually acted. I read the book, and then I bought a house. And I think a problem that a lot of people have is they read the book, or they read another book, whatever it is, and then instead of acting, they say to themselves, I need to learn more. I'm going to go read another book, and then another book, and then another book. And before you know it, they have all this information coming in from all these people, and all these people are saying, do this, but make sure that you don't do this, this, or this, or be sure that you buy in this kind of area, or be sure that you buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that has all brick on the exterior. You know, they give them all of these stipulations, and before you know it, there are too many rules, and so you can't ever buy anything. And the 3 things that I see people get hung up on, it seems like more than anything else, is crime rate, vacancy rate, and population decline. And so, you know, they find a house, they love it, it seems like it's going to be perfect, but then they check it out and it looks like, man, the population has declined in this zip code over the past 10 years. They've lost 20% of their people. This isn't going to be the one for me. Or, whoa, the vacancy rate is 22% in this area. How am I going to rent my house out? There's so many houses on the market. What am I going to do? Crime rate, same thing. What you need to realize is that every single one of these problems has a solution. It's not as bad as you think it is. And if you allow these things to stop you from investing, then you're going to be in the same boat 20 years from now, except you'll probably have given up on real estate altogether. So I'm just going to knock these 3 things out for you real quick. All right, so let's go ahead and start with population decline. Most of you guys know, if you watch my channel, that I like to work with Section 8. I like working with Section 8 tenants, and I like working with that program because it's an easy way for me to make my money back. And by the way, if you're not familiar with my channel, if this is the first video that you've ever watched, I highly recommend you go watch my other videos and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and hit the little notification bell so that you can see everything new that I put out on a regular basis, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, getting back to population decline, I like working with Section 8, and one of the things about Section 8 is a lot of these people are not going to be moving. They're going to stay in the same area. The reason that they're working with Section 8 is because they are low income. They don't have a lot of money. They do not have money to pack up and move to Dallas, or to move to San Francisco, or to move anywhere across the country. They are low income people that need help right now. So to be honest with you, I don't care if there's a population decline. It's not going to affect my business at all. A lot of people think that population decline is going to affect the vacancy rates, and they're right. Population decline does affect the vacancy rates, but that's what I'm going to deal with next. Here's the deal. When you see a vacancy rate and it shows that, you know, there's a 22% vacancy rate in the area, that means 22% of the houses in this area are empty. So you would think, a lot of people would think, and I understand why they would think this, that there are going to be so many properties that are currently for rent that it's going to be hard for you to rent your property out. The market, it's a buyer's market. That's what it appears to be. But if you're investing in the kind of areas that I invest in, then you'll realize that most of these vacant properties are not livable. They're terrible. I mean, I could take you, I looked at probably 20 houses this week, and maybe 2 or 3 of them, someone could move in right then, and they still would have needed work, okay? The rest of them, I didn't even want to invest in them, and I will invest in a lot of properties that other people wouldn't. I mean, we're talking ceilings that are just, you know, caved in. We're talking mold. We're talking about all the electrical snipped out from underneath the house or in the attic. You are not going to have to compete with that particular vacant house. Nobody wants to live there. Then you get to the houses that are livable, and they're in such poor condition. They're poorly maintained. They might have AC, they might not. Things don't work. They're dirty. They're right next to a crack house. You have all of those types of livable houses. And again, nobody wants to live there. So what you need to do is you need to find the kind of properties that are in these areas, capitalize on the fact that the vacancy rate is high, so you're going to get a lower price for this property, and then you're going to make it nicer than all of the other vacant houses. And if the vacancy rate really is 22%, then chances are it's not going to be very hard for you to make it nicer than all of these other vacant houses. And what seems like a negative to a lot of people is actually going to be a positive for you. So that's all I'm going to say about vacancy rate. The next thing is crime rates. So when I first started investing, I spent a lot of time on Trulia.com when I was looking for property, because I liked the whole, the crime section where you could look at the house over a map and it would show you if it was in a high crime neighborhood or a low crime neighborhood, and they would show little black dots where different things were reported. I have over the years found that to be incredibly inaccurate. Most of the crimes that are reported don't show up there. I've not found a single place online that actually did have very accurate information, but at the end of the day, the things that you're going to find out about a particular house, you're going to find out on the ground level. You're going to find out by driving around, by walking around, possibly even talking to the neighbors. Some of the best deals that I've found have been in areas that other people considered uninvestable. And I rent houses out for close to $1,000 a month in these areas. I'm getting over 50% return on my initial investment in these areas. And it's because nobody wants to buy there. And so I capitalize on that. I get a better deal, and then I make these houses great for the people that do either need or do want to live in these areas. The key thing that you need to realize is that if there is a high crime rate, then you just need to secure your property. You need to do it right. You need to make sure that you might not have a central cooling system. You might have window units. You might not even have window units that stick out the window. You might have the kind that sit inside and they just vent out the window so that you can have traditional burglar bars on that window. You're going to have metal doors on your front and back door. You're going to have, burglar doors on the outside of the house. So you have two layers of protection. You have a metal door and then you have a burglar door. And I have a whole video on protecting your rental property. I'll go ahead and link that in the description below. I'm not really going to talk about that much more in this video, but my point is every single one of these obstacles, and pretty much any obstacle that you can come up with, you need to realize that these are obstacles in the minds of most investors. And there's a way to turn that around and make, again, their negative your positive. The things that they're afraid of, that is your bargaining chip to get a better deal on a property, and then you need to solve that problem so that you can make a lot more money off of your investment. That's all I have for you in this video. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Click the notification bell, like, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, one more thing. Also, join the Rental Property Investors group on Facebook. I'll put a link to it in the description below. I will see you guys in the next one.